With the arrival of Star Citizen Alpha 4.7, mining has just become one of the most important activities of the entire game, and most players have no idea what they're doing. They're wasting time, they are not prepared, they're completely missing out on the materials they actually need for crafting and the new Rockbreaker stations. So before you go out there and lose hours for nothing, here are 10 mining tips that will instantly make you more efficient and a lot more profitable. Mining tip number 1. Don't just upgrade your mining laser, but upgrade your entire ship instead. A lot of players jump into the MISC Prospector and focus only on the mining head and the mining modules, but that's actually only part of the equation. If you want to be more efficient, your engines matter a lot more than people think. Being able to boost more often and move quickly between rock clusters will save you a huge amount of time over the course of your mining run. And this is where your power plant comes in. Upgrading it gives you more available power, which means you can allocate more energy to your engines through your MFDs and actually get better performance out of them. Without that, your mobility is limited no matter what. For the Prospector, I would recommend the Genoa, which you can find at Omega Pro at New Babbage. Your coolers then support your whole system, helping your ship handle the increased load more reliably, especially during longer sessions. So if you really want to improve your mining efficiency, don't think of upgrades individually, but instead think of your ship as a complete system where every component supports the other. Mining tip number 2. Many players think that they need to have their own mining ship to start mining in Star Citizen, but that is not the case. You don't have to buy a Prospector or a Golem right away. Instead, you can rent one at the refinery rental kiosks, which allow you to start mining immediately without a huge upfront investment. Using a rented Prospector also gives you access to easier rocks like copper or aluminum, which lets you experiment with crafting and try out simpler items first. It's a low-pressure way to learn the mechanics, practice your laser control, and get comfortable moving between rock clusters. So no, mining is not blocked behind a paywall, contrary to what some people might say in the comment section down below. But even if you don't own a ship, you can start mining, earn materials, and decide later if you want to invest in your own Prospector or Drake Golem. Mining tip number 3. When you are mining in Star Citizen, think carefully about your ore pods. Many players who use a MISC Prospector stick with the default MISC pods, which, when combined together, only carry a total of 32 SCU. But there's a better option. The Argo ore pods can carry a total of 48 SCU, giving you a significantly higher yield at the end of your run. This is especially useful if you're trying to maximize efficiency and get the most out of each mining session. A few notes here, this does not apply to the Golem, which has bespoke pods and cannot swap in Argo ones. But for ships that use standard pods, buying several sets can save you a lot of time. You can replace full pods by simply bringing them down the freight elevator and bring new ones via the same freight elevator instead of running all the way down to the refinery after every run. By planning your pod usage this way, you'll end up sparing a lot of time, as well as all of those trips to the refinery, which can be quite time-consuming. Mining tip number 4. Always bring food and drinks when you go mining in Star Citizen. It's easy to get so focused on the rocks that you forget about your survival gauges, and in the black of space, you can actually die of thirst if you're not paying attention. For the best result, I recommend Crooks. It quenches thirst more effectively than most other consumables and also satisfies hunger. Having it on hand lets you focus on mining without constantly worrying about your survival meters, and it can save you from losing an otherwise successful run. If you really want to bring additional foods, my friend Deplorable Infidel would be very sad if I didn't mention beef chunks, so I'll do just that and advise you bring some as well. So don't underestimate this, stay hydrated and fed, and that's just as important as upgrading your ship or choosing the right rocks. Mining tip number 5. Always keep a visual reference while you're mining in Star Citizen. Whether it's following a bright star or a large mountain or any other fixed landmark, having something to guide your orientation can make a huge difference. When you are out in the black of space or on an asteroid field, it's easy to get lost, especially when you're focused on scanning or breaking rocks and moving between clusters. Without a point of reference, you can end up circling the same area and drifting too far from your starting point without realizing it. By choosing a consistent landmark and using it to orient yourself, you'll move more efficiently, You will reduce unnecessary backtracking and spend less time just trying to figure out where you are. Over time, this habit will become a second nature. You will instinctively know which direction you head next, even in complex fields or low visibility areas. It's a small adjustment, but it can save a lot of time and frustration during a mining run and makes your sessions feel smoother and more controlled. Mining tip number 6. Don't focus on mining the highest quality materials over 500. While those valuable ores are tempting, there's a lot of benefit from collecting the lesser materials as well. You can sell them at the refinery as raw materials if you don't want to refine them, but refine them opens up even more possibilities. For example, Shubin Interstellar accepts refined iron, copper, and other basic materials and pay very well for them. Mining these materials not only gets you credits, but also increases your reputation with Shubin, but in addition also gives you blueprints for crafting and can even unlock new Rockbreaker missions from the QV breaker stations. So don't discard those lesser quality rocks, taking them instead is an often overlooked way to get more out of every mining run. Mining tip number 7. If you can, use a carrier to support your mining operations. Ships like the RSI Polaris and the Aegis Idris can completely change how efficient your mining runs are. Because they have much larger quantum fuel tanks, they allow you to travel across greater distances without constantly needing to refuel your prospector. This means you can stay out in the field longer and reach more remote, less contested mining areas. They also provide onboard support. If you run out of food or drinks, you can use the medical beds to restore your survival gauges, which removes one of the biggest limitations of long mining sessions. Their large cargo holds also lets you carry spare ore pods, so when your prospector's pods are full, you can swap them out on the spot instead of returning to a refinery, which is going to save a huge amount of time. Mining tip number 8. Pay close attention to refinery yields. A lot of players assume that whatever ore they bring in is what they will get after refining, but that's not the case. Depending on the method you choose, your final yield can be significantly lower than what you started with. So before you launch a job, always weigh the refining time against the actual output you'll receive. Faster methods might seem attractive, especially if you want your materials quickly, but they often reduce your yield to the point where you can limit your ability to craft. Personally, I tend to go for methods like the ferron exchange or the ding solventation because they offer the best results in terms of final output. It takes longer, but the higher yield is usually worth it compared to the rest. So always keep an eye on the column that shows your final yield before confirming the job. A few extra minutes of checking can make a big difference in how much you actually get back from your mining run. Mining tip number 9. Don't mine alone. Mining in Star Citizen can be much more effective when you team up with other prospectors or join a crew in a larger ship like a mall. Working together allows you to combine laser power or use different laser configurations. Some lasers reduce rock instability, while others increase your optimal window, which can make cracking tougher rock much easier. A mole, for example, has size 2 mining lasers that can break much larger rocks than a single prospector could handle on its own. By mining with a crew, you'll also pick up new tricks and techniques from more experienced miners, which can improve your efficiency and understanding of the mechanics. So, whether you're after big rocks, better yields, or just want to learn from others, mining with a team is almost always better than doing it alone. Mining tip number 10. Head to the Iron Hollow. This hidden mining location doesn't appear on any star maps, but you can find it by traveling from Argo to Hurston and stopping at about 13 gigameters from your destination, or from Hurston to Argo and stopping at around 9 gigameters out. The Iron Hollow is incredibly safe. It has no NPCs, and because of its immense size, the chance of encountering other players is close to zero. It is packed with rocks that can be mined, often with very high quality. I've personally found ores in the very high 600s or even mid 800s, making it a gold mine for serious miners. Another advantage is that it is almost always illuminated by the standing sun, so you are not going to have to worry about mining in the complete darkness like you would have on a planet or in an asteroid belt near a planet. If you're looking for a quiet and productive and high quality mining run, the Iron Hollow is one of the best kept secrets in Star Citizen. And so there you have it, my 10 essential mining tips to make your Star Citizen runs faster, safer, and more profitable. Whether you're upgrading your prospector, teaming up with other miners, or exploring secret locations like the Iron Hollow, these strategies will give you a real edge in the verse. Now I want to hear from you, of course. What is your favorite mining tip, or which hidden spots have you discovered that others might not know about? Drop a comments below and share your experiences. That is all for today. If you enjoyed this content, as always, please leave a like. It really helps the channel a lot. Don't forget to subscribe for more Star Citizen videos. As always, also a big shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members who provide an invaluable help to the channel. If you too want to help, you'll find the links in the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day. I've been the Eradicator. Cheers.